So since House Republicans have treated the speakership vote like a sporting event, here are some highlights from last night's game, barely won by Kevin McCarthy in a last-ditch buzzer beater. So the first highlight is an iconic moment from one of the House of Representatives' Queens of Shade, Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter of California. You know her for her many viral moments in which she interrogates poor, unfortunate souls who happen to be in front of the House Oversight and Reform Committee or some of the other committees that she's on. She's known for having her whiteboard and unleashing her whiteboard wrath on those in front of her. She's a Harvard law professor, a seasoned lawyer, and she makes the sphincters of conservatives and capitalists everywhere clench every time they see her. But she is reading a book while the circus is going on to elect Kevin McCarthy. And I don't know if you can see the title of it. It says, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... And she's just sitting there, relaxed, with a smirk on her face, just like, what the hell are these fools doing? Great moment from Katie Porter. The second highlight of the night, like the vast majority of highlights of the week, come from Republicans, specifically the dysfunction between two or more Republicans at any given time. So in this particular highlight, you see Marjorie Taylor Greene, the representative from Georgia, trying to hand a phone to another Republican congressman who has been opposing Kevin McCarthy up until this point, Matt Rosendale of Montana, I believe. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is attempting to hand him a phone, and if you look very, very closely, it says DT on the phone, Donald Trump, and he is waving his hand in dismissal. And of course, this was captured by every news outlet in the country, so former President Donald Trump, notorious egomaniac and, someone of particularly fragile, thin skin, probably got to see this everywhere. I think even Fox News covered it. So every major outlet is reporting how this random Republican congressperson from Montana, is just dismissing a phone call from the leader of the Republican Party and a former president on live TV. Classic moment. And then the third and final and probably best highlight of the evening is actually a small video clip, and it also derives from Republican on Republican on Republican on Republican dysfunction. We're going to play the clip here, but the primary players are Matt Gaetz, Mike Rogers, and a guy named Richard Hudson from California. Okay, so Matt Gaetz is from Florida. He's an iconic Freedom Caucus or prominent Freedom Caucus member. He's a notorious troll. He's been credibly accused of statutory rape and human sex trafficking. That investigation is still ongoing. Mike Rogers is, I believe, from Alabama. No, excuse me, from California, and he's the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, which is a committee that Matt Gaetz serves on, right? And then Hudson, the third Republican player here, is from North Carolina, and he tries to break up or prevent the ensuing chaos. So let's have a look. That would be Mike Rogers. That would be Hudson behind him. Oh, and he gets a palm to the face and hoisted back. Well, that concludes our Friday night congressional highlights, mostly courtesy of the Republican Party. We'll see where it goes from here, but I expect most of this sort of chaos will be seen again in the future. So here's to Republican dysfunction.